Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a box I've wanted to talk about for a long time, but I sort of talked about some of it, actually most of it before, so I wanted to give it a little time before I brought it up again, but I realized, what difference does it make? In the year 2963, whoever's going to find these videos is going to find what they find, and why should I worry, right? I'm talking about the complete Sweelinck vocal music. Sacred. Some of it's sacred, some of it's secular, but it's all vocal music. This is on 17 CDs. Now, the part that I talked about before was the box on the same label with the same people, which we'll get to in a moment, of his psalm settings. And the people we're talking about are the Gesualdo Consort Amsterdam, an absolutely wonderful group, under Harry van der Kamp, an excellent choral conductor. And I love this guy. I know, Sweelinck is not going to be like on anyone's list of totally essential composers, but I think he should be. And I'm going to tell you why. Anyway, let's talk about the guy a little bit. He was a Nederlandish Dutch composer who lived from 1562 to 1621. So he's really sort of the same period as Monteverdi, and he's on the cusp between the the late, the whatever Renaissance, the end, not high, the end. High is in sort of the middle, right? The end of the Renaissance and the beginning of the Baroque period in the Germanesque lands. And, is he talented. He's best known for his keyboard music, his organ music and keyboard works, which have been recorded by numerous keyboard artists exploring or dipping into that repertoire, when they do William Byrd and Bull and all those people. And, you wind up usually with something by Sweelinck. But, his essential training was, of course, Italian, as everybody's was in those days. But he was a major, major, major voice in the Netherlands of his time. And his sacred music and secular music, his vocal music generally, is gorgeous. If you are like a Monteverdi madrigal person or something like that, you're going to want to hear this guy. So let me tell you what's in here. Well, I scratched my nose a bit there. There we go. Let me tell you what's in here. There are 3 discs of secular vocal works out of 17. So he didn't write a lot of secular vocal music. Then you get chansons, of course, because people did that sort of thing, Italian rhymes, madrigals, French rhymes, and canons. So, that is the secular stuff. Now, there's very little difference between the secular and the sacred stuff. The difference is the text. The musical treatment is often quite similar. So you don't really need to worry about, something being, for example, like, a pop song versus, something very Gregorian chant like. No. It's all that wonderful late Renaissance polyphony and flowing, beautiful harmony. And it's just stunning. Stunning, I'm telling you. And then we've got 2 discs of Cantiones Sacrae. In other words, sacred songs. Songs on sacred texts in motet or whatever form. A motet is basically a polyphonic song on a sacred text, or something like that. You can call these things a billion different things, but the result is basically the same. So what do we get? What are in these sacred songs? 9 psalm motets, 9 nativity motets, 9 gospel motets, 9 miscellaneous motets, a Te Deum setting, and a series of motets and canons, miscellaneous. And they're just lovely. Absolutely lovely. So that's discs 4 and 5. Now the rest of this, discs 6 through 17, consists of the psalm settings, the major psalm settings, which were the object of their very own box. You can get a separate Sweelinck box of just the psalm settings with these forces. Now those settings are unbelievably beautiful. They're in 5 voices for the most part, and they are gorgeous in French because Sweelinck set the entire Geneva Psalter, the entire pile of psalms, all 100 and however many there are, 150 something, I don't know, there's just a lot of them. And it's an extraordinary achievement. I mean, he did them all, and he did them all at a uniformly high quality. I mean, extraordinarily beautiful and they're just exquisite. They really are. And like I said, they're in French, and it's an achievement that belongs at the same level, the same high, exalted level as, for example, all the Scarlatti sonatas or any of the encyclopedic works of Bach or the Palestrina masses. I mean, take your big comprehensive, thing and apply it here. It's just as great, and nobody knows these things. I mean, I sang a couple of them when I was in high school. I knew that they existed. I hadn't heard them all, and I was waiting for a recording. I mean, every so often you got dribs and drabs. You'd get a few of them, but never something comprehensive. So I think that this collection, first of all, the separate box of the Psalms alone, if you don't want the other things, but it's only what? It's 5 discs of other things. You might as well get the whole box. It's on the Glossa label, by the way. This is Glossa, yeah. You might as well just get the whole thing because the music is all beautiful. I mean, this guy was a major, major composer, a truly significant voice in his time. And these psalm settings are unbelievably gorgeous. And it's nice to know whatever you want, like Psalm, 72. Someone did it. You can get it. There it is. It's absolutely extraordinary. And if you don't know these things and you like choral music and you like Renaissance choral music or you like, a cappella choral music or madrigals and motets, that whole style, the whole period around the turn of the 17th century, then you have to have this. You just do. So I don't mind talking about the psalm settings again. I do want to say these are beautifully packaged, nice big set. A nice big chunky set. You get this whole thing. I think the psalm box, which I can't find here because I moved it, it's somewhere in this mess, had texts and translations, which are not included here. That was a chunkier booklet, as I recall. But it's still, I mean, you can find the Geneva Psalter. I mean, it's not really hard to get the texts. And my goodness, what a glorious achievement. And the fact that it just sits there, practically unknown, is baffling. But it should be unknown no longer if you get this marvelous set, once again, with the Gesualdo Consort Amsterdam under Harry Vanderkamp, I don't know how you pronounce it in Dutch, I'm not even going to try, on the Glossa label of Sweelinck's complete vocal works. It's a magnificent collection, one that really, really deserves as much attention as we can possibly give it. And I'm going to tell you, those psalm settings are special. You're not going to want to listen to all of them at once any more than you're going to want to listen to all of the Scarlatti sonatas at once or anything like that. All the CPE Bach sonatas and keyboard works, all of those huge collections of things, all the Bach organ music, there's lots of stuff like that, right? But this is as important and as beautiful and rewarding as any. I mean, the work of a true master. And like I said, disgracefully unknown. So go for it if you get a chance, or listen to some of it somehow. I mean, you're going to be hooked. They're so marvelous. So keep on listening, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.